What's going on, guys? It's Chef. But finally, we have some communication. Activision, Infinity Ward, Raven finally got this blog post that they were going to detail, you know, what it is that they're planning on changing, and then we're supposed to be getting some patch notes later that will, like, really go into depth about what everything is. But from what I know, this blog post is supposed to round everything and kind of give everyone a general idea of the direction that they're trying to take things. I think there's a lot riding on this update coming out here, Season 2. There's a very, very big deal. And although I don't think that this patch is going to fix or solve absolutely everything, it's absolutely a step in the right direction. And if it's something that they are truly investing in, it's only up from here in multiplayer and especially Warzone. Information on new features, maps, modes, and more will be shared over the coming weeks. All the changes outlined in this blog will be further detailed along with new content in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2.0 patch notes to be released prior to the season launch of February 15th. So we'll probably get the patch notes on the 14th, maybe 13th, but probably the 14th. Crashes and stability. We remain dedicated to improving the overall stability and performance of the games. I haven't had any crashes quite a while. I was having a lot of crashes pretty early into it, but I just moved a whole lot of things around until eventually it stopped. But hopefully this helps with anyone that's still experiencing stuff. Global audio. Data suggests that some PC players may be experiencing audio issues due to discrepancies in the number of channels they are outputting. I was about to say, we've added an option to force PC to stereo output. This issue will be addressed in the Season 2 update, and we continue to work on fixes. Okay, hey, I'm happy that they actually expanded on this instead of, like, just made improvements. This is the stuff I'm talking about. This is good right here. I like this. I don't know how much of an improvement that's actually going to make, but I'm happy that they actually broke it down, because a lot of people do not get the explanation, and I'm not saying that you should have to explain for everybody, but it doesn't hurt. Number of UI updates, experience improved after action report with audio. I don't even know what that means. Weapon balance is something we're always analyzing. We'll be balancing weapons for Season 2 just like any other seasonal or mid-season update. Details on weapon balancing can be found in the upcoming Season 2 launch patch notes. Excited to discuss some changes to armor below that will make it more consistent engagement in Warzone 2. 1v1 Gulag. 1v1 Gulag will be coming back. They're gonna end up having that whole domination style flag in the middle. Instead of the jailer, it'll be the original overtime mechanic. Ground loot has been revisited as well as the loadouts that players will spawn in with. We've updated the pool to include assault rifles, submachine guns, and LMGs. Shotguns have been removed from the rotation. Handguns will remain there as secondary weapons. Gulag gives more cash reward, which helps people with the regains. Now cash in the Gulag on the ground randomly. Loot and inventory, as announced last week, we're shifting away from loot windows and menus to floating loot that will now drop out of all the containers in the world. Thank you. It just doesn't work, man. I mean, I don't know if this is going to cause a shift for DMZ, though. DMZ, I feel like it makes a little bit more sense, but we'll see how they go with that. This change is intended to improve the pace of the gameplay by minimizing time spent navigating the UI and getting players back into the action faster. Yep. Warzone was just not that game. Warzone was fast-paced. Warzone was just go, 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 go. You run through somebody, you run through their loot, pick it up, and you just keep going. There's none of this, like, sitting around real slow, fumble through the menu to pick it up, especially on controller. You can get better at it, but it doesn't feel good. It'd be nice to just, you know, have it all on the ground and you just find it. So long as it's not this horrible, horrible looting mess that it has been, where you have to, like, look at things from a different angle and stuff. Like, they gotta really work on that. It wasn't as much of an issue with Warzone 1, at least later into its life. Every player will have the same backpack throughout the entire match, which will subsequently reduce the impact of stacking meds, equipment, and kill streaks. We'll continue to look forward to feedback and provide updates that streamline the looting experience. I wonder how all those dudes that spam, like, the nuke runs and all that shit, I know that they always spam, like, a bunch of streaks and everything as well, so I'm curious how everything's gonna look now. Loadouts have always been a core part of Warzone's battle experience and something we pay close attention to. We're making further changes to how players acquire part of the entirety of their loadouts. Warzone 2.0, Season 2 introduces customizable perk packages. Okay, so there's that. So now finally everybody gets to edit their perks in Warzone, which that's a whole other thing they're gonna have to deal with, but it's back to what other people are used to. Just not being able to edit the perk packages makes everything feel a little bit more cookie cutter. I don't know how else to explain it. I know that everybody ends up with the same perks anyway at the end of the day, like they really do. Like, I'm pretty sure Amped was just used the entire time, and I have no reason to believe that it wouldn't still be used now, but we want to navigate this particular feature as carefully as possible. This feature will launch with a slightly reduced pool of available perks, which we may reintroduce over time. Oh, this is going to be weird. It's a really big change. Players can pursue victory with their most desired weapons. We also remain happy with the introduction of loadout drop markers. Yep. Though we have taken a careful look at the price point. Price of loadouts have been reduced so that respective squad sizes can acquire their full loadouts at a faster pace. Second loadout drop public event has been added. It's the first and fifth circle now. Pre-plate vests. We're continuously evaluating the pace of combat engagements and have decided to make a change. All players will now start with a 3-plate vest. Thank you. Just get rid of that whole problem of worrying about whether or not you have a 2-plate and they have a 3-plate, or even if you spawn in with a 3-plate vest, you can still just have like 2 plates. Varying sizes of vests will no longer exist in Battle Royale. Good. Standardization will bring a more reliable feel to the engagements. Yup, it won't make anything feel as inconsistent. We'll continue looking at data when optimizing downtime and improving stability and improving the ability to recover. Movement movement. We've been talking about these. I haven't gone into a ton of detail about Warzone, but I always just said, you know, try to move it back towards what Warzone 1 had within how the game feels and functions and pace-wise, but then add on to. Made an important tweak to movement that should yield better outcomes for players in combat. Sprinting with Season 2. Starting with Season 2, players will be able to bust through doors while plating the way that they would if they were sprinting. This change includes a slight increase in movement speed while plating, enable players to get the cover faster in moments of need. So this sounds like it's still not sprinting while plating, though. It seems like it's just you move a little bit faster while plating, but it doesn't seem like you're actually sprinting and plating at the same time. But then again, players will be able to bust through doors while plating the same way they would if they were sprinting. So my player could be barely moving, and I walk into a door without plating, and obviously the door doesn't open. I would have to try to open the door myself. If I sprint through, it'll bash it open. But if the door is closed, and I just started plating next to the door and even inched my way at the door, it's just gonna blow the door open now. So we're still not sprinting and plating at the same time. Whatever this increased movement speed is while plating is, maybe that'll help a little bit. It just, not being able to sprint and plate just doesn't allow for any outplay potential. I understand maybe it's annoying to like worse players that break people in the middle of a field and then the person starts like hitting them with a bunch of movement while plating and then they can't kill them, but why shouldn't that player be allowed to do that? All of that effort trying to stay alive. I mean, come on. Buy stations in order to make buy stations and their goods easier to access. Revamped our approach. Spawn locations have been added and adjusted. Spawns will be more static across the map, and the loadout drop markers have unlimited stock at all stations. As always, we'll continue to monitor global balance. Okay, what about unlimited UAVs? Strongholds. Season 2 brings changes to the rewards players receive from stronghold completions, as well as additional adjustments to AI combatant damage. DMZ changes. I don't really know much what's going on in DMZ. I haven't played much. Only a couple times to get my weapons and stuff, but hopefully these are good changes for the DMZ players out there. But multiplayer, the main stuff that I like playing, and it's all the way at the bottom of the post. Yeah, changes in multiplayer. I mean, I'm gonna be on shipment anyway. They're basically putting the system that Warzone has into this. Perk balancing. We have heard a lot of feedback around the timing of the bonus perk, specifically the Ghost perk. Yep. And Ghost is not as powerful as it used to be for sure, but the flow of the game changes completely once it comes online. We looked at swapping this perk's position, but we felt that it would create severe imbalance in the perk system. Yep. Season 2, we've updated the rate at which the bonus and ultimate perks are earned. Reduced the bonus perk cost by 50% and ultimate by 25%. This adjustment will allow players to get Ghost earlier in the matches, which will better support players looking to engage more aggressively. At this point, though, you have already made these adjustments to make us unlock it faster, because before we would unlock like our ultimate perk towards the end of the game. It was odd. Eventually, it's going to get to the point to where we're unlocking it so early, we might as well just have it off rip. What's the point? I'm happy that they don't have Ghost off rip, you know, in that sense, but I don't really get the perk thing with them. Weapon balancing is obviously coming. They're not going to expand on that. Hardcore is coming back. Yep, I'm happy about that. Way better than that tier 1 pseudo-realism dog shit. Valentine's Day playlists have returned, detailing the multiplayer modes coming in Season 2 in the coming weeks. 1 week per month, Infinity Ward will be creating a Twitter poll for fans. Vote on that week's playlist from a rotating pool. Or what if the same one just keeps winning the poll, though? Yeah, they're releasing, you know, ranked play or whatever, but they have yet to actually do ranked correctly, in my opinion. They just, it's always kind of like this. It's just not really paid much attention to. People don't care about the rankings. It's just, it's odd. Somehow the Warzone leaderboards and multiplayer leaderboards are paid more attention to than the League ranked leaderboards, which is odd, but not entirely surprising considering, you know, the way that they treat rank. But yeah, that's basically everything. It pretty much confirms everything that was rumored and everything that we were kind of asking for. They didn't say anything about the mini-map or anything, so there's also that, but I feel like they would have noted it on here if they were going to do anything with it. They didn't mention anything here, so I'm gonna assume there's not going to be a change. I feel like it's something they would have noted here. Anyway, these are good changes, but now we just need to wait still a couple more weeks, which is awful. I'll put up an Elden Ring video tomorrow.